Hi Cavs, welcome to a new edition of the Cav Report. The college offers a lot of options for studying abroad. Here's Landon Fields with more.
JCCC offers a lot of study abroad opportunities. Here are two faculty members who believe you should go on a study abroad trip.
For the students, it's definitely a great opportunity to see a different part of the world, see how people live their lives, and to understand that not everyone lives the exact same way that we do. We can learn from them, and there are a plethora of ways that it opens up your view of the world. You really start to appreciate people from different countries. You really start to understand their points of view, and it just broadens your horizons. It gives you opportunities that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Unfortunately, not all nations are as safe as we'd like them to be. So what should students think if they're afraid to travel outside the U.S.?
JCCC vets all of our programs. JCCC is very risk averse. And so we are not ever going to send you if we don't think you'll be safe. So that's number one. Number two is, if you haven't traveled before and you're a little uncomfortable, travel with our faculty. That's why we have those trips, because they'll be making all the arrangements, looking out for you. You have that kind of safety net. So that's the second thing I would say. And the third thing I would say is, beware of the news, because the fact that you and I are sitting here talking, it's very pleasant. This will not make the news. But you know, if somebody sticks their head in my office and does something lethal and there's blood on the walls, that might make the international headlines. So the news, by definition, news is only blood, only death. So if all you're hearing about other countries is the news, you're getting a skewed perspective.
According to Professor Hardy, here's why you should study abroad.
It really does open up new opportunities in everyone's life, and it's just something that I wish everyone would take advantage of. And the office here is one of the best in the nation, so it's a really great opportunity, and that here at Johnson County Community College, I feel very fortunate to teach at a place like this that has such a robust study abroad office.
If you go to JCCC's website, you can find more information under the Study Abroad page. For the Campus Ledger, I'm Landon Fields.
Sustainability is one of Johnson County Community College's top priorities. Here's Rohan Patel reporting on the college's composting program.
JCCC is a top 10 community college for sustainability. One of the ways we maintain our spot on the top 10 list is through composting. Crystal will explain how the composting process works on our campus.
So for composting on this campus, what happens is that all of the kitchen spaces on campus collect the food in bins, and then the sustainability interns go at 3 o'clock every day to all the coffee shops, the culinary center, Tempo, the food court, and then the childcare center. And they pick up all of the kitchen waste from when they do prep work and stuff. We average about 450 to 500 pounds a day. So the interns, they drive all that out to our compost shed, and we have an in-vessel composter out there. So they are putting the food into a giant mixer, and food is nitrogen, so they need to add carbon to that to get a good mix. So we use wood chips, and then we also add sawdust, and we mix all of that together. We try to get it like the consistency of quinoa. And then it gets augured up into our big vessel, and it goes through that vessel for somewhere between like 5 to 7 days. And so when we put like food and stuff in one end, everything that comes out the back end looks like dirt. It's not finished compost, but it's all black. It looks like soil. After that, we put the compost into, we have 3 bays out there, and we pile it into these concrete bays that we have, and that continues to cook the compost. And so at that point, the compost should reach somewhere between 150 and 160 degrees.
We compost over 95,000 pounds of food waste in a single year, and the compost that we produce is later used on our campus farm. From the Campus Ledger, this is Rohan Patel.
The baseball season is almost here. Caleb Derlin spoke with head baseball coach Ken Shelley about his expectations for the 2020 season.
The baseball season has started here at JCCC, and we got the chance to catch up with head coach Kent Shelley and ask him about the expectations for this season.
Well, the expectations are high. We always set the bar high, the standards are high, and we're really excited about this bunch. Overall, I like our hitting 1 through 9, and we got several guys coming off the bench that can really swing it for us. So I think we're going to hit really well. I think it'll be one of our best offensive clubs we've had in quite some time. I think eventually defensively, we got a chance to have one of our better clubs.
One thing that makes Coach Shelley's team so successful is something that he refers to as the plus factor.
Again, I think the camaraderie, the brotherhood, they really love one another. You know, you can take an average talented club, and if you've got that plus factor, which I believe we do, you can have a very special season, and that's what I expect of these guys. They love practicing, they love lifting weights, they hang out together on and off the field. So the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the cohesiveness is second to none.
The expectations are high for this team, as Coach Shelley told us.
Well, the end goal is to be playing our best baseball towards the end of the conference, hopefully competing for that conference championship. But we want to be playing our best baseball year in, heading into postseason play, and certainly the Region 6 championship in Wichita, Kansas.
And that's it for your baseball preview. From the Campus Ledger, I'm Caleb Derland.
Finally, Chairman of History and Political Science Jim Leiker gave a presentation on an important historical event. Here's Reese Kroll with the story.
The Ghost of Amistad is a story about a group of slaves who rose up in rebellion and got labeled as free men in a time of heavy slavery. Jim Leiker tells us more.
So the Amistad case goes back to 1839. This was a story of about 35 Africans who were taken captive in West Africa in the area around Sierra Leone. Slave trade had actually been outlawed by the major powers, so these men were taken illegally. During the process of being transported from one part of Cuba to another, they were put on a ship called the Amistad. And in the process of that, the slaves managed to take control of the ship, and they killed everybody on board except for 2 Spaniards. The Africans on board were arrested, they were prosecuted, and eventually the United States Supreme Court, in a rather unprecedented move, declared that the men were free, that they'd been illegally captured, and therefore they had every right of self-defense to act the way they did.
From the Campus Ledger, this has been Reese Kroll.
That's all for this edition of the Cav Report. Thanks for watching.